Hello and welcome to the program. Rich and Laurie are originally from Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. They relocated to South Florida in 2010, and they have been active in the area, enjoying a climate that allows for more pleasurable year-round recreation and activities. Let's see and/or hear what Rich and Laurie in South Florida have to share with us about where to go and what to do.
Here we are.
Here we are. Good morning or good afternoon. Or no, it's just about 11 o'clock. Anyway, welcome to episode 14 of the Rich and Laurie in South Florida podcast. I'm Rich by name only.
I must be Laurie.
That she is. Why don't you tell our viewers where we're at this morning? It's pretty awesome.
We are at Hickey Creek Mitigation Park, which is just on Route 80, just east of River Hall.
Right, east of
River Hall.
Do that again, yes, east of River Hall.
2 miles east of River Hall.
Right, on Route 80 or just off of Route 80. Kind of, I'm not going to say hard to find. There's a sign that marks it, the entrance, but you kind of have to look for it. If you got a GPS, we put Hickey Creek in the GPS and it took us right here this morning. So we're going to give you a taste of what it's like in one of these nature trails out here. We'll tell you a little bit about them. And with that, stay tuned.
Alrighty.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
We're at Hickey Creek Mitigation Park, which is just off Route 80, just east of Alva.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are 3 trails here. There's a red trail, a blue trail, and a yellow trail. So we're going to take the red trail today.
And the difference is?
The red trail is shorter, and the blue trail is all grassy. It's a marsh, and sometimes it can be underwater. And Palmetto Pines is pretty nice too, but it's longer. It's 2.2 miles. The thing to keep in mind is this trail map says it's 2.2 miles, but that's after you've walked to get to the trailhead.
Right. I remember the part about red trail being shorter. I like that one.
Right. And the red trail, the last half of it, remember all those roots?
Oh yes, roots. That makes it a little clumsy to walk, but also kind of fun to walk. And the last time we were here, we saw one of the, I'm just going to say tortoise. I know there's a scientific name for them. They're a special kind of tortoise. And as I just looked off to the left as we're shooting this video, there's this most beautiful butterfly just flying right next to us here. It's a beautiful place.
This is going to be our review of Hickey Creek Mitigation, which we've been here 2 or 3 times. It's a beautiful place to walk.
Yeah, and if you're living over in Cascades or anywhere in River Hall and you just need to get out and hike and take a look at nature, this is just I don't know, it's just gorgeous out here. It's so natural and kind of invigorating, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of invigorating, let's go take a walk. All right, as we just begin this walk, I wanted to come back and show you that they did what's called a controlled burn. And what that does is it eliminates some of the brush and lets the trees actually grow more. But I thought I'd just show you what we're seeing here at the beginning of this walk at Hickey Creek. Look at some of the, we'll call it burn back, where they've already burned this area just to allow for future growth. Again, kind of, I don't know, sad when you look at it, but awesome that they can do this and it actually is healthy for the forest. So let's take a walk on Hickey Creek and we'll cover some more as we go through this, again, beautiful natural area and so close to home. So rewarding. It's better than a good walk. Okay, a little more of this controlled burn. It looks like the farther we get back into Hickey Creek, the more they burned this out. Again, kind of beautiful though. It makes room for natural growth. Last time we were here, this was up over my head. And you know, I'm 6'2", so these weeds and growth was pretty high. Now you can almost look through the whole area just because all the weeds are gone. I wanted to take a minute and show you what we see back in this area. I'm going to do a 360-degree slow turn so you can take a look at what's behind us too. I mean, it's beautiful out here, and we're on the walking trail, the actual trail part of this. And it looks like it's drivable. There's been vehicles back here. There's like tire ruts in the road.
You can't drive back here, but it's a nice wide path.
Yeah, I don't think the public can drive back here, and we were just talking about bringing our bikes here, but we found out that that's not allowed either.
Yeah, no bikes and no dogs. But there's a lot of other trails you can take bikes on.
Yeah, okay, more on the trail later. This is what's known as a service road back through Hickey Creek. You can see there's some slight tire tracks on it, but it's not the path that you would typically hike on. The difference being the hiking path is all gravel, easy to walk on, prepared specifically for hiking. This must be for some type of area access by maybe the authorities or the Lee County Park Service. But again, just part of Hickey Creek and beautiful. Interesting to note that as the path clears up and the burned area is behind us, here's some of the vegetation we were talking about that we remember from the last time we were here. Kind of one of the star palms. But it's beautiful back here. As Laurie just mentioned, this is where we saw and where the tortoises probably are now. They were probably chased here after the burn.
You want to make sure when you come out here to walk too that you bring a hat and water, because it gets really hot, and also there's not a lot of shade on this trail. So don't think that you can get shade in the trees.
Okay, I learned this in the military, in combat. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. I think I heard that repeated once on the Johnny Carson show too. Here's that fork, so which way should we go? I think we'll go to the right. This makes this walk simply incredible. Again, this is at Hickey Creek. They have this beautiful pier built out overlooking the water. Somebody beat me to it already.
I'm looking for manatees.
And we've heard they're in here. We've also seen people fishing in here off of this pier. I don't know what kind of fish is in here, but it's a beautiful place. If you're walking, you want to bring your rod and reel. What we probably failed to mention on this particular video is that this morning is Christmas morning, 2021. Instead of a huge breakfast or a meal to start our day, we thought we'd come out here and get some exercise. It was a good decision, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's just gorgeous. I think the temperature when we came in here was about 74. Along this trail, it's pretty awesome that we find these pine cones. Obviously, pine cones come from pine trees, and as they get down on the forest floor, the seedlings come out of the pine cones, and that's where new pine trees come from. So, kind of a point of interest. I don't know if we mentioned earlier, but this is also a beautiful place for canoeing or kayaking. We're going to bring our kayaks out here, and but you have to, again, you can't drive them out here. You have to, we would have had to kind of pull our trail out here. But right down here, there's a beautiful launch area. Not lunch, launch. And you can launch your kayaks.
As you're walking through the trails and you're throughout all of Lee County and even further probably, you'll see these signs that say the Great Colusa Blue Way Trail. This is set up for kayaking and canoeing. And you'll see that these signs are by every launch. So if you're looking for a launch, you can look for one of these signs. We've seen them at Bowditch Beach, and also there's a trail guide here. So you can look up and find this particular launch, and the launch is just right around the corner. And as I was looking for that sign, I found this really cool shell. I don't know what the name of it is. It's some kind of a tree snail or something, but we'll find out and put it at the bottom of the video here when we get a chance to look it up. I'm going to save this in the meantime. It's pretty awesome.
This would be the launch area that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. It's beautiful, it's easy entry. If you carry or hand trailer your kayaks down here, it's easy to launch them here, and it's just a beautifully scenic place. Interesting to see a lot of Spanish moss on this trail, very similar to that which we saw in the Florida Everglades. And if you remember a couple of our videos from there, I think it was this moss that was used by the automobile dealers early on to stuff into the seats of cars to add the cushion to it. Hey, now what are you doing?
I'm looking at my All Trails app. Did you know about All Trails?
Oh God, tell them about All Trails. That's awesome.
Yeah, All Trails is an app you can download from your phone, and you can just say search nearby. So let's show them here on the video on my phone here.
She meant download to your phone,
Yes.
not from your phone.
Yeah, see that little blue thing there? That shows where we are on the All Trails app. And I believe it runs off of the same thing that GPS does. So even if you don't have much of a cell signal, a lot of times it works. And you can also download maps.me. This is a great way to keep track of where you're at. And you'll see there's a thing here that says download for offline navigation.
Yeah, maps.me. Remember that one, or download that one to your phone. That's actually GPS without GPS satellites. How does it work again?
You don't need any cellular. So
Yeah,
if
no
you're-
cellular.
If you're traveling in a foreign country, you can put your phone on airplane mode and use maps.me for your navigation.
Yeah, we used it in Reno, if I remember. That's the one we used for those trails in Reno.
And
it
Bonaire.
And
in the
Bonaire,
Caribbean,
yeah.
yes. But yeah, so on All Trails, you can just download for offline navigation, and then there's a map here that shows where we're at. So we're going to walk just a little bit further. We're not going to do the whole trail today, but we will do the whole trail another day.
Again, we're on the Red Trail. Shh, don't tell her I'm following her. This is what we mentioned before. This is a portion of the trail where there is uneven footing, and by that they mean that there are a lot of these tree roots that extend above the ground. Let me show you one and you get an idea of what we're talking about. This is actually a tree root that's above the ground. It gets a lot worse as we progress down the trail. You can see we're not the only ones out here. Now what are you doing, Laurie?
I'm looking at this new marker. I think these are brand new. I don't remember them before, but this says H1. And if you look on your map, it says H1. And you can get these maps at the entrance of the park here. So it shows that we're on our way on this red trail. And as we know from walking it before, the more you walk it, this part that goes by the river gets a little bit hilly. So it's up and down and up and down. But this is pretty flat here until you get to that where you're near the blue line. But yeah, red trail marker.
Awesome, thanks. As I said before with the anthill, there's other things out here walking these trails. There aren't too many people who have 3 toes. So this is probably one of the animals that was out here early this morning before the people got out to walk the trail. We've run across this wasp nest again in the side of this tree. Hopefully you can see some of the wasps going in and coming out of the nest. I said before there were other inhabitants out here. These are called fire ants. Look for these light gray ashen type hills. They're loaded with fire ants, and when these things get on you, your feet, your legs, you'll know where their name came from. I got bit by them once with about 5 spots on my legs, and they were just unbelievably painful. So watch out for these gray areas. As the sign indicates, this is also a great place to come out and picnic. Nice way to take a break from your hike, sit down, relax for a couple of minutes, bring some sandwiches, cold drinks. It's very accommodating, including trash removal. So don't hesitate to bring a bite and enjoy the day out here at Hickey Creek. Unfortunately, there is an end to this incredible day. And as you can see, the trails are really well marked. Naturally, this is a return area, or back to the beginning where we want to take some pictures of the restrooms for you. This is an all-inclusive park. It's really family oriented and made for the hiker. The end of the trail and the end of this hike is almost as exciting as the beginning. As you come back to a place to freshen up, very clean restrooms. There's information on the walls about the park and other parks in the area. Drinking fountains if you want to refill your water bottles. Get a fresh drink. Again, very clean restrooms. And I used the term before, controlled burn. They're no longer controlled burns, they're called prescribed fires, because when a fire starts, it's totally out of control, but you can prescribe where they're going to be. So the Park District has changed that terminology. I learned that when I worked in the Everglades. Here's what people see in the park as they were walking. Get a place to make a note of what you've seen so others can enjoy the same thing. And again, here's all the information on what a mitigation park is and why Hickey Creek, and a website which you might want to go to, www.leeparks.org. I don't know if we mentioned when we first came in that this is a pay-to-park park. It's $1 an hour, which is really just a contribution to Mother Nature. At the beginning of the walk, you'll pick up this sheet, basically an envelope. Put your money in the envelope and simply put it in the box, and it keeps track of how long you're here. And before you start, there's a trail guide, take you through some of the things that we just showed you. All right, well, I'm pretty tired. What about you?
Yes, I could do it again though. I love being outside in the woods.
Okay, well, let's wrap up this episode. Again, this was Hickey Creek, and we look forward to taking you to, let's give them a hook or an appetite whetter. What are the names of some of the others?
There's several Caloosahatchee parks, so we'll explore one of those next.
Okay, good. Thanks for viewing, and we look forward to the next episode.
Till then,
Bye.
bye.
Thank you for watching and or listening to Rich and Laurie in South Florida. We hope you have enjoyed the program and that you will come back for the next episode to learn more about where to go and what to do when your travels bring you to tropical South Florida. If you would like to sponsor this program and get special attention on your place of business, you can contact Rich and Laurie in South Florida at 630-642-6500. That's 630-642-6500.